Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome back to Meerkat Chris's Storytime. On today's video we're going to be talking about the 3 times that I almost died. Oh yes. And just a sprinkle of a little teaser for you guys, when I was very young, even younger than the events I'm going to tell you about in a minute, probably around being a baby or toddler, maybe the middle part of that, I was apparently with my mum upstairs in a bedroom somewhere, and she was sorting through some clothes or something, and I somehow managed to get my hands on some sort of bottle of something kind of like bleach apparently, and I just started like drinking it as if it was like milk or something. And apparently that was really bad for me, and when they saw a doctor about it, apparently the doctor said I should have died. I should have died. There's no... logically, I should have died from what I drank, but no, I'm still here for some reason. But yeah, that's just a taste of the death-defying experiences your buddy Meerkat Chris has managed to narrowly escape with an inch of his life by. So yeah, scary stuff. Anyway, that's just the little taster of what to expect in the rest of this video. Wow, so yeah, kids and grandparents and mommy and daddy, sit down and we'll get started with story number 1. So of course, I was around the age of 7. Maybe 8, and I was your typical little Meerkat Chris, living on your typical UK council house estate with my mom and my brother. Typical weird street where everybody seemed to know each other, including me, and everybody that did live on the street had kids that were pretty much the same age range. My age or my brother's age. There wasn't really any older or younger. And so we all kind of hung out and kind of played on the streets for some reason. That's what we were allowed to do for some reason. Anyway, I am outside with my friend, my next door neighbour friend. We were just playing out on the street as you do. The day went pretty typical for us. We were just having our ha-has and hoo-hoos until we noticed a group of teenagers, about 7 or 8 of them, across the road from us. For some reason, we decided we can go hang out with them. So we just walk over the road like, hello everybody. And we noticed that the reason why they were all huddled around each other is because they had a weapon. More specifically, a firearm. Yes, they had a pistol. This put me and my friend a bit on edge. But at the same time, I was a bit like, oh, this is pretty cool. Let's have a look. These guys were so cool, obviously. So yeah, me and my friend were like, please can we have a look and have a go of your gun? No, of course not. Instead what they did is their laughs came to like a halt, and then they slowly raised their face up at me and my friend with a little grin. And then they raised up the pistol to me and my friend, 8-year-olds at the time, and we were like, oh my goodness. And we started backing off like, what do we do? Before they could do anything, my friend just decided to run behind me, run back to his house, which was directly behind, across the street. And I decided, yeah, that's a good idea. And as I turned around, I noticed a car just appearing out of nowhere, coming directly for me. I freeze. I just completely froze up. I was like, oh my greatness, what do I do? I've got a gun pointed at me. My friend's running off. He's quite far at this moment. And there's a car plummeting for me. This is a life or death situation from multiple sources, you know? And I was 8 years old, so this is a big deal. I stop and I think, what do I do? What do I do? What do we do? What do I do? What do I do? As the car's getting closer and closer, and then all of a sudden, doosh, I'm hit by a car in the middle of my council house street estate. All I remember is I was lying on the bonnet of the car. I remember just kind of like energizing myself a bit more and raising my head up, and I remember looking at the guy behind the wheel of the car that just hit me. There was blood dripping from my nose because I must have like whacked my nose off the car or something. I don't really remember much else. I remember slowly getting off the car. I was still able to stand up, but I began limping because one of my legs had obviously been injured from literally having the force of a vehicle hit my little 8-year-old kid legs. I remember standing there for a brief amount of time just in the middle of the road with his car literally in front of me. The guy stayed behind the wheel for as much as I remember. I don't remember what happened to the cool kids. In my head they just disappeared. I don't think they had any relevance to the plot anymore. My friend, my good friend in the neighbourhood, he he ran indoors, and for the rest of that day I never saw him again. And yeah, I thought, oh, well, what do I do now? I've just been in a car accident. I've been hit by a car, and I stumbled back onto the path towards my house, and I think I'm just gonna go inside. I'm gonna go back into my house and tell my mum that I just been hit by a car. And as I do, the car just drives off. And I never see that car ever again. So I was involved in a hit and run incident that I didn't realise was a hit and run incident until I was much older. I remember I walked into my house and my mum was in the kitchen. She was washing up the dishes and I came in limping, bloodied nose. I came up behind her and I was like, Mom, I've just been hit by a car. I pretty much remember the visual image of her just instantly turning around like, what? And then being like, we'll have to get you to a hospital. And so yeah, she ended up bringing up my auntie who had a car and we went to the hospital. And yeah, I just remember being in the hospital being like, oh, this is pretty cool. I've been involved in an accident. Not a fatal accident, so I didn't actually die in this incident. The only other thing I really remember is that the nurse came up to me, or doctor or something. They started asking me, oh, so what happened? What was the incident? And I was just like, I don't know, some kids had a gun and they aimed it at me and my friend. We ran across the road and then I did look both ways, of course I did. Look left and right, or vice versa. Yeah, no, this car just came out of nowhere. There was no car there. Step into the road, car here, hit me. That's what happened in my head. And yeah, she believed me and just got sent home. Yeah, so yeah, that was story 1 of my near-death experience. Maybe it wasn't as death-defying as I made it out to be, but being hit by a car, you know. So yeah, you're lucky to have me, haha. Yeah. It's also a bit funny because I remember a few months later after that incident, I remember just standing in a street with my mum and my brother and we were waiting to cross the road to go to the little newsagents across the road, and there was this young girl who was a bit older than me and she was in our school, and I remember she couldn't be bothered waiting for the traffic to be clear to cross and just thought, I'm gonna go, and she just walks out into the open knowing that there's a car literally coming for her. And yeah, she just flies onto the bonnet the same way that I did and just walks it off as if nothing happened. And I'm like, that's what happened to me. That's what happened to me. Yeah, a bit of a weird coincidence. I guess that was the car hitting year for me. Car hitting year. Yeah, there we have it. The last day of my 7-day YouTuber challenge. Haha, that was a fun, wasn't it? That was a lot of ho-ho, ha-ha. Funny wunny. I don't know. Anyway, see you tomorrow maybe, or the day after. I'm going to be releasing a follow-up video to this week's challenge where I just kind of like talk about what I thought it was like. You know, I've never done anything like this before where I do a video every single day, so I kind of did it for just to see if I could. But anyway, yeah, so maybe see you tomorrow, maybe not, maybe the day after. And yeah. Bye.